Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's Jerry, Papa Shrimp, and Brian from Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics. What's going on? Thanks for joining us.
What's happening?
Yeah, let's see. Who's here so far? Nobody yet that said hello, other than Jess. Here, I'll type something and see if everybody's going in the chat.
Yeah, because there we go. Yeah, Fish Tropic's on. Fish Tropic was on at 7:13.
Wow. I know you shared the link. So we'll let everybody start filtering in here. It says 2 so far. That's probably me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man. We're going to talk shrimp, so it don't matter.
I don't have an issue with it. We can do whatever. You start, people come in, you're already into the conversation, so it always works for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. People are starting to filter in there.
Excellent.
Cool deal.
So
how was your a little bit of a delay, too.
Yes. How was your delay? Monster Fish Scale. You had a good day today?
Hey, Lori. Awesome. Well, cool. While everybody's filtering in, let me check something over here. If I look funny, it's because I'm not looking at this screen.
Just
something over here. And there we go.
Liquid Zoo, what's up?
What's up? All right. Now I'm looking at the other one just in case I need to. Awesome. So, Brian, earlier today you gave me a call, and I guess you watched Rob at Flip Aquatics and Joe at Joe's Shrimp Shack. You must have seen their streams because you caught the news before I got to keep it a secret.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to tell anybody, but I don't think that it would be a secret kept too long. But that's why I called, because I was very surprised to see that. Well, I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised. I was excited to see that Rob and Joe and them reached out to ask you to be a judge in the shrimp competition there in Dallas, where you live.
Yeah, man, that kind of tripped me out because I was just sitting here looking at my shrimp, actually thinking about, competing. And then the phone rang and I saw it was Joe, and he was like, real quick, man, are you competing or not? And I was like, well, why? And he was like, because we'd like you to be a judge. And I was like, well, then I'll be a judge instead of competing. Heck yeah. So that's really cool. I'm glad they thought of me, man. It's such an honor that at least they thought of me, and I get to do it here in my hometown and actually get to meet some of the local shrimpers and breeders. And hopefully there's a lot of local entries that maybe I'll get to know better in person.
Yeah, that's a cool thing because it's there, where you live, and, people that actually live there can now meet you and know that you're there, that maybe do not know already that you live there. So yeah, that's really, really cool because to participate in it or to judge it, you've been around. It's just good to see someone new it's and someone that's been around for a while. That you can go, okay, well, he's not a normal judge, he's new blood, and, which makes it even more exciting because your eye, of course, will be different than someone else's eye, and you'll see things that someone else sees differently.
Well, I really like it because it's almost like I get to get into the mentorship program. and be hanging around with Joe and Eric and Rob and seeing shrimp from their eyes from a judge's perspective because they have experience doing it and kind of understand more about the hobby and what they're looking for and be able maybe to cross it over into layman's terms so that, regular hobbyists can, get in there and start doing it themselves. I
Right.
really gotta thank Joe and Eric and Rob and Grant too, all of them for really reaching out. Grant reached out to me. I sent him a picture. I guess he's got to use it to submit it into the announcements, whatever. But it's going to be really cool to be a part of that. And then, now, unfortunately, Jason couldn't stream tonight. So, in case everybody's wondering, his wife had surgery. So that's why I went ahead and filled in the slot that we normally take up. So that way I could make this announcement because I just found out yesterday when they called me. And plus, I wanted to talk some shrimp before Aquashella and the American Shrimp Contest. So thanks again for joining me and getting on here and nerding out with me on some shrimp, man. I heard you got some news yourself about possible rebranding.
Oh yeah, it's we were thinking about the name of the business and stuff, and since we decided to stick with the vehicle theme, when Leah Jet, that's who designs our shirts, when she designed this shirt, because our first shirt just had a shrimp on it that my wife had made, but when Leah designed this shrimp, she came up with a truck. And I said, well, why did you do the truck? I mean, I like the truck, it's really cool. And, I just wanted to pick her brain. And she's like, well, because you're, Detroit's known for the Motor City, and the cars coming out. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then, it kind of sank in even more. And, it's kind of like, I don't know, you mull it over, it grows on you. And it just became, because I get some people that do the AKA Detroit, then there'll be Motor City Shrimps. And I'm like, okay, but, Motor City Shrimp sounds good, but I just want it Motor City Aquatics since, we do the shrimps, the big fish, and now we're bringing in smaller fish. So Aquatics covers everything instead of just, sticking in just one niche. But it's still, I just want everybody to know that, it's just if they do come on our streams, that it's not just one thing, that there's more than one thing. So even as me and you were talking about doing streams together, a little more shrimp stuff to stretch some stuff, to help people understand a little more. Since, as if you watch Rob's channel today, Rob does say that he's very busy. He needs to get more YouTube time, but I mean, the guy's swamped. Then Joe's really busy. Joe's Shrimp Shack. He wants to do more. So if we play a part as, we just don't keep shrimp, but it's what we're really good. We know a lot about it. So if we add to that, then we can actually help the community, whether it be fish or, anybody or people that are just starting out or have no tank at all whatsoever, give them some information about shrimp. So maybe they would like to, have something on their desk at work or something,
Well, that's an interesting topic because I wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. And one of them was just that fact in itself is that I think you and I both have a variety of creatures in our tanks, not just shrimp. We have, whether it be snails or fish or shrimp that we're keeping, as well as our plants and our mosses, because we cherish those too, as shrimpers especially, and if you're doing any breeding, mosses are great for the fries. So there's all kinds of things that we have that we're keeping that besides just shrimp. And I think that's a misnomer maybe that people have, that especially with the breeders that keep shrimp only for breeding purposes. That's a whole different animal, I believe, than keeping shrimp as a hobbyist. That yes, you can put in a tank with fish, but just know that if they have babies, they might get eaten. But if you're not doing it for breeding, then what's it to you? If you have a few survive, then you got some free shrimp.
Correct. Well, like you said, with more in the tank than just the shrimp, because as you say, like snails, a lot of people, over the years, I was one of them. I would hear complain all the time, like they couldn't keep rabbit snails alive. They would buy rabbit snails, put them in their tanks, they couldn't keep them alive. And I remember one time I had messaged a friend of mine who actually sent me some rabbit snails, and I said, "Oh man, my rabbit snails are doing good. They're all scooting up the glass, up to the
What
top."
up, Kenny?
And he said, right out of the blue, he's like, "Let me guess, your tank is at 72." I went over and looked. I said, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Because they're looking for warmer water. They're too cold." I was like, "Really?" And I said, "I've lost rabbit snails." And he said, "Well, the thing is people don't know that they like warm water, and they do best in that. And that, so I put them in warm water, and that's when they breed and all sorts of stuff. And I have super, super healthy rabbit snails when before they weren't so healthy. They would disappear, and I didn't know why. So yeah, there's a lot to know about stuff in the tank other than just a fish or a shrimp or anything like that.
Yeah, that's cool. And really the crossover between the different water parameters, especially with Neos, because I know, I've had colonies of shrimp do very well with thriving colonies of guppies too. It just really depends on the strains and the aquascape too, how many different plants and places for everything to hide. And I probably lose a few. I know I lose a few guppies from their parents and big brothers and sisters. And I'm sure I lose, shrimp fry, but I've had thriving colonies before with community tanks, and it's just fun to watch. If you get lucky, sometimes you can do that.
Yeah, I've had the guppy community tank. It was actually I don't know. People ask, what can you keep? What can you keep? And it's just like you said, it's all about hiding spots. Like I think the biggest thing was I keep a couple leaves, and I made sure that they're held down at the bottom and they weren't up on the sides. And every time I go to move them to clean the tank or something, that's where all the pregnant females were. So, and I had so many shrimp, and the baby guppies would go down there to hide from the parents. So
Right.
that's where they were like congregating so they didn't get eaten. So in 2 seconds, your tank can go from, 10 shrimp and 3 guppies to, oh my God, what am I going to do with all this? Very, really easy. So yeah, it's not
What
hard.
are some of your other favorite fish that you keep besides shrimp?
Well, I have a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of favorite fish, but right now I got those shell dwellers because I want to start breeding those. Because I don't know, it's more the colors and the designs. It's kind of like the shrimp. It's kind of like discus fish. It's just something that catches my eye with. Like the cottlepunks that you got. I mean, it looks like they got a mohawk of a yellow mohawk or whatever, and it's like, wow, a little fish can have that. But it's so cool that they just go and scoot into a shell, So I got those, and then I have 2 types of those. I got the Maltese, and then I got the Kygomas, and then I got what are those coming in? I got some the platinum. What did I say? Those were the. Oh God, I can't remember. Bad accents. Well, we'll skip that. I'll come back to it. But then over there, like I have the catfish. I have the gulper cats. I'm a big, huge. I got a big soft spot for catfish. It's got to be certain catfish, though, because some are ugly. you know, and these look like they're smiling all the time. And then, you know, the big tanks, I got my cichlids, discus. Then you got, you know, I got little stuff in there, you know, Corridoras, you know, whole bunch of little stuff. But that's like where I breed the plecos at, and I pull them out and all sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, it's right now that's what I have. So, but soon, you know, hope to have more. But I want to get rare stuff, not like rare stuff like hard to find, but rare stuff like not many people have it.
Right.
You know, to bring more attention to it. You know, so that's what I'm looking for.
I got you. And what about when it comes to the shrimp? So we mentioned it earlier. The theme today on both Joe and Rob's stream was they were talking about the industry in general and whether it's slowing down or whether it's still growing. And I think overall it's still growing, but in a different way than it used to, because now we're starting to get into people that are being more selective and getting them ways to find the more high-end shrimp. And so they're not buying as many as, you know, maybe previously. Like I remember when I was buying Neos left and right and only a few Caridina, and now I buy only a few Caridina, and then I'm trying to breed them, so I'm not buying as many. But if what I'm looking for is more high quality breeders select type, you know, shrimp, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to spend less money in the long run. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how many tanks that I started out with that. I mean, still this day, I mean, if I go to buy a shrimp and it's $25, like the dancing man over there, the Caridina, that Mo Polar bred, I bought those, and I mean, I know the guy, so instead of $25, he charged me $20. You know, and that's a deal. So it's like, okay, well, I'll order 5. You know, that's $100. So you just pray. Well, you know, because a lot of people don't know how to tell male from female. And that's, you know, I've shared it on my stream because I learned it on a stream. And then others have shared it, you know. So I do it a certain way. It's almost like a guarantee. But you know, if you order 5, you just pray that you get a male and female, you know, so you can turn and burn and start to make a whole bunch. Because look, if I spend $100 on shrimp, I surely would like to get that $100 back within the year, and then, you know, maybe make some off of it, you know. But it's I believe the same thing. I mean, Rob did say that you know, he wants to do more videos and stuff, and he, you know, he thinks that that'll help his business. But I just think, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know COVID messed things up. It really changed everybody's perspective. But one of the things that I thought was interesting was that the online part of the fish hobby, shrimp included, you know, just seemed to go right through it because people were starting to stay at home more. They were taking care of their tanks, so they started spending money. And then after, quote unquote, COVID, well, it's not really after still, but, you know, we got over a lot of the mandates that were keeping people indoors, and people started getting outdoors again. Now people want to spend, but they're being way more selective because they did spend a lot of money while they were sitting at home at COVID. So, you know, I think it's up to us as shrimp keepers, breeders, enthusiasts. You know, we carry the flag of the hobby. So I think it's up to us to give better information, I think, share more information so that people get more confidence in keeping shrimp without being so concerned with the sticker shock.
Well, I think too, one of the biggest things is it's really shocked me in the outcome is how many people have you heard or do you know that's complained about getting screwed over by ordering, online from someone? I haven't heard anybody. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't happened maybe once or twice, but I think people are noticing and realizing that ordering an animal, a fish, a shrimp, uh, you know, uh, uh, plecos, snails, you name it, that they're actually getting quality stuff. And what shows up at their doorstep isn't garbage on its last leg that's going to die.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things where society has come so far within the hobby is the trust, because if you get on somebody's, because I think that's one of the biggest hurdles, someone like me starting out, because I'm new, with 60 some tanks going, yeah, hey, I could sell you everything you want. And people are like, yeah, but we don't even know who you are,
Yeah.
and it's the trust. So, for 2 years now, year and a half, I've been building up people's trust. And now it's like nothing. People message me and say, hey, we need some shrimp. How much is it? Oh, okay. And that's just how it is. So,
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things that I always done it. Even when I first started getting my shrimp, is I buy from Flip. I've bought from Shrimp Farm. I've bought from Eric at mypetshrimp.com. I've bought from So Shrimp. I've tried to spread the love. Aquatic Arts, Arizona Aquatic Gardens. Jason and Janet.
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics. I spread the love because I want to see what other people are doing, and because I'd like to build trust with as many different people and sources as I can. And even if I don't think I've really ever had a bad experience. It's just something has happened that went wrong, and it always got fixed or turned around and reshipped or refunded or whatever the case may be. No issues, never had a problem, and a really quote unquote bad experience online. So that's been a big one, and I think in that hopefully most people have experienced the same thing, that it's more positive than negative.
Yeah, I really don't. When I first started out, I heard of like, you'd hear a little bit through the grapevine and stuff of like, someone has poor, poor quality, this or that. But, I learned really quick that if you get a bad, somebody leaves a bad review, or you screw somebody over, you don't give them what they want. Look, it's just like going to a brick and mortar. How many bad, days can you have where you sell something to somebody and they're not happy, they're upset, and you just tell them, well, I don't know what to tell you. So that's, everyone that I see and everyone that I've met, it's like, we do something a little different, because we pay if something we send out dies or shows up dead, we pay the shipping to send out again. I'm not saying we're any better than anybody, but I've had a lot of people refuse to let me do that. And well, not a lot, because I've only had it happen one time, but then, I just feel that if somebody sent me something and it died, I don't want to pay shipping again for something. So, but I just don't hear it anymore. Everything's just come so far. It seems like most of the hobby is pretty clean. Everybody's dealing with really high quality stuff, and that's just, it's not only cool to go on somebody's channel, but it's cool to go on somebody's channel with excitement of buying something from them, because that everyone brags about, this person, that person, whether it's all shrimp, it's all fish, it's all this, it's all that.
Right.
Each person's different, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's again, I think the community is a big part of what makes this whole thing fun. And you know, getting to know people like Dan and ordering fish from Dan's Fish, you know, that's been always awesome. Um, Ordering fish and or shrimp plants from Rob at Flip Aquatics, even before I had a channel going. And you know, ordering stuff from Aquarium Co-op, you know, the plants come in are beautiful. You know, 9.9 times out of 10, they're just freaking awesome, healthy plants that you get from Aquarium Co-op. And he's got some cool stuff. He really does cater to the fish hobbyist, and you know, all the
Yeah,
little
it's
gadgets and gizmos that you could think of.
yeah, it's Corey's something else. You know, I heard a lot about Corey, uh, you know, coming up and stuff. You know that Corey is this, Corey is that, and but none of it was bad. It was, you know, Corey likes to help out the little person. Corey will, you know, if you, you know, there's possibilities that he would do stuff to help you, you know, get bigger, give you information that you might not be able to find out other places about something that you're keeping. You know, I find him to be a very helpful person. So yeah, and then you know, Flip and everybody else. You know, it's I mean, I've only met him once, so it's not like you know, I've had dinner with the guy, but with everyone that I've met, you know, they're just so so polite, so nice and genuine. You know, it's not like I don't know. You could just tell. It's not like you can just walk up and people put on you know, a clown face and you're not going to realize it, you know. But it seemed like, you know, everyone was, you know, super, super nice. And it's like, wow, these people are so nice. I would never have an issue with, you know, buying anything off of them. And I really enjoy being a part of this group of people. You know, that's
Yeah.
why, like my Aquashella badge that I got, you know, my son has it upstairs, but, you know, I'll have that forever, you know, the shirt and everything. And like this shirt they gave me, you know, the fish tube shirt and everything. So, yeah, it's, to be a part of it, it's super cool. You know, it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
Very fun.
And I was going to ask, you had brought up earlier, um, what is Dave Farrell was saying that he's checking out your site now as we chat because he's got a couple of tanks they want to do. So we had talked yesterday when I first asked you to come on the stream with me. If you were at first, I got on the banner I got on the bottom. I'm letting everybody know that you give a 10% discount if they're a vet. So
Oh yeah, I do that.
that.
In case no one knows, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do that. I'm not a veteran. My wife is a veteran, 5.5 years, and my son is active in the Army. So my wife is Army, and my son is actually active now. So he's been in 7 years. So he's gonna do his full 20 or whatever, you know, till he's done doing it. But yeah, he's so that's why we do it. It's not like you know, I don't do the vet thing, like I said, because I've never claimed that I'm a vet. I do it for my wife because, you know, she likes, like, when we give stuff away, we make sure, you know, whether it be clothes or cars or anything like that. It's not like I'm rich and I give cars away, but if a car, you know, is on its last leg and somebody needs a car to get back and forth to whatever, we'll donate it to them.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. We donate clothes to them, you know, all sorts of stuff because she has her reasons of why. And, you know, and I support all that. So, you know, it's like, you know, we have a flag in front of our house 24/7. We donate. We do as much as we can. But the thing is we know as much as you know being a veteran, and there's so many people that are veterans out there, and there's so many people that are veterans, I don't think that know that the hobby is so helpful mentally for PTSD, stress. You know, I don't have PTSD, but I have panic attacks, anxiety, stress, I take a lot of medications for all that stuff. So I could just imagine what somebody with PTSD does. But with the symptoms I have, to do stuff like this, it literally takes me to a whole nother level of comfort. So with me and my wife, it's just like, if I can make somebody happy or make them feel better by showing them that these little creatures or little fish over here, something, you put it in this little glass cube, can make them super happy, then that's what we get excited about. So, and it's whatever. We're not picky about, oh, well, you're a veteran, we're going to choose what we do. Usually it's like $10, $15. So,
well, I appreciated the little bit of a discount I got. It got me one extra shrimp in my order.
Well, that's why you got it, because you're a veteran. Because I'm not, it's a discount, but you bought expensive shrimp, so I'm not going to sit here and go, well, this much. If you want another shrimp, you owe me $4.
No, that was cool, man. I really appreciate it. And those, like I said, those are one of my most thriving tanks right now that I have with my shrimp up there. Those blue steels are just going at it. I got tons of them. But, that's a really cool deal. So what do you consider right now? I know it's probably a sliding scale that evolves depending on the seasons or whatever you got going on. But right now, what is your favorite Caridina shrimp tank, and which is your favorite strain that you got going on?
That's a hard one that you would ask that, due to the fact that I do carry for sale also, but I do carry like shrimps. One set was given to me, and they're really high grade Galaxy fish bones. And then this set I carry for someone and breed it, Blue Crown, and these are boas and snowflakes and galaxies. It's just what comes out, and then you call them apart. Now you have metallic purples and then the black calciums, red calciums, dragon blood blues. I mean, there's so many that
shrimp nerd.
Well, it's just like you look at them and you're like, oh my God, look at the colors. But if I had to say the look, it would have to be probably, I would say, a Galaxy fish bone, a Galaxy all the way up to a boa. I love the snowflake. Excuse me, because all the bazillion dots on the face go throughout the body. The boas are cool. I mean, they're not, I don't think they're as artistic of a design looking, because their spots are bigger like a snake. But so I'd probably say yes, a snowflake. So it's like a Galaxy, very high grade Galaxy fish bone type deal like that. That would be what I'd have to say if you're gonna stick a
right. I know it's so hard. That's why I asked that question, because I wanted to see if your answer is like mine. Is like, well,
it's tough. It really is tough, because they got to come to colors. Blues are gorgeous. This color is beautiful. That color is beautiful. Orange eyes. My wife's like, I don't care if you get rid of all the shrimp, but you keep the ones with the orange eyes. And she loves the Soloaceae. She's like, oh, the ones that dance. Oh yeah, don't ever get rid of those. So It's like, as a woman or a girl, even, she has favorites and why and this and that. So she comes down here. I'll catch her down here sitting in the chair, just standing there and feeding little powders. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, look, there's little babies everywhere. I'm feeding them. So it brings,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, it brings joy no matter what,
Yeah, that's like my grandkids. Whenever they're around my aquariums, they look for food to start feeding the tanks, because they know, they're like, ooh, you feed the fishies? It's like, man, already they want to feed the fish. And okay, but they love it. And I love really all of it. There's certain things about the fish that I get, like maybe like the catapunks. I love the way they glide in the water. I love the blue that shimmers around their eyes, and that mohawk is just so cool. And they're pretty fish, even though they're kind of plain. They're very, very pretty fish. So I like those.
That's something though, because the body, they're like all the same. My kygomas, the ones over there, everything, they're all the same, but they have colors somewhere
Right.
on their body, and it catches your eye. You're like, ooh, you know.
Yeah. And so that's the thing with those. And then when it comes to the shrimp, I mean, it really depends. I didn't realize I liked the blue bolts or blue steels as much as I do until they started breeding in the colors that I'm starting to get out of them. And for a colorblind person, it's not that I don't see colors at all. It's just that certain colors I see shades instead of colors. So looking at the shrimp that I have, it's so amazing to see all the different varieties that have come from them. So, and since there's so many, they're my favorite right now. But I love my fishbone, my Galaxy fish bones, and now I got a couple of shrimp buried in there. My fancy red tigers, I got some of those that are buried. My PRLs, some of those that are buried. So, kind of the same thing. Everything that I have is my favorite right now. Of course, I want more. I want to be able to say the same thing. I got some calicos, I got some devils, I got some orange eyes, I got.
Yeah, it was just some things. It's not really the name. It's just it's the look. Like the red calcios. They got the red markings, and then they have like a yellowy orangish body that really sets off the red. And then Dragon Blood Blues, with the dark blue stripes and the bluer body, and then the blacks. I don't really have a lot that I brag about with the blacks right now because there's so many pregnant mothers in there. I have shrimplets everywhere. People see in my videos that I do cleaning the tanks and stuff. Well, I can't do that one. It's not in bad shape, but I can't do it right now because there's so many shrimplets in there. I'll tear apart a tank if there's babies in there, but I won't do it with shrimplets because I just can't see shrimplets and it's not worth losing any. But it just, I don't know. It's, you get shrimps and you just fall in love with the ones that you want. And then the people that feel the same way as you are the ones that order from you, so it's.
Speaking of, when it comes to as a vendor, which are your favorites to sell because they're selling a lot? Or what are some of your customers' favorites to buy?
I really, it's all over because some people want orange eye blue tigers, the royal blue tigers, fish. Put it this way, people that come for Caridina shrimp, like you said, they do just like us. They don't come and buy 10 or 20. They roll in and get 3 to 5. So I think what it is the customers that come to buy Caridina are like, okay, I'm going to stick my toe in the water and see how warm or cold it is. And I only buy 3, and then a few weeks later, they'll call me up or message me and be like, hey, can I come by? Do you have this type of shrimp or do you have this type of shrimp? And I'm like, yeah. Okay. Well, so that lets me know that they did good with the first set. So there's not any that I really do that like sell more than others. They kind of just bounce around. It's more, it's shrimp with design. Let's say that. So it's like, fish bones, blue shrimp, stuff like that. Like snow whites, the snow whites. I love snow whites, but a lot of people call them golden. Was it the golden?
Golden bees.
Gold, yeah, but some people sell them with like a dirty body, but I
Right.
don't. I call them out and I sell them as pure white as I can. So it's like, I don't know if anyone, really realizes what a beautiful shrimp they are. But I mean, I always look at it this way. I love my shrimp. If I don't sell them, I'm fine with it, because I'll keep them all day. If you buy them, then fine. But if you don't, okay, I enjoy their company. So it doesn't bother me. I don't go, gosh, I got to let people know. No, I don't. Because look, it's the hobby. I like making money with my hobby, but I could sit here all day with it too, So, yeah.
Right. That's one of the things that it's hard to part with, because even some of your favorite mosses and stuff like that you have, that you work so hard to keep it clean and get it in your tanks and growing, and it grows slow, and then people want to buy it from you and you're like, no, not really, but okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because who's it? Alan Toots 48 in here. He just he ordered some. He messaged me the other day. I sent him some out, and then somebody else messaged. I sent them out. So but I don't know. I can't remember who lives where, so I don't know if he got his stuff yet. But it's yeah. And then another thing is, like, I like to give extra. So if somebody orders, if they because before it used to be a buy, whatever you order. Let's say you order 5, you get a 6th one for free. And it wasn't that they're giving it to you for free. It was because if one dies, it covers that.
Right.
You don't have to return anything, refund no money or nothing like that. Well, usually here we just give extras. It's just because, unless it's something super expensive. But still, if I have 200 of them, and I give you 1 or 2 extra. If you spend extra money, if you're buying other stuff, we'll throw in extra stuff. That's just like another thing I'm going to come up with, or that I've come up with. I just haven't brought it out yet. I don't want to really let anyone know what it's going to be. But I think we're going to have, if you spend like $200 before shipping, it's going to be shipped in a special box, meaning it's not going to be cardboard. I mean, it may be cardboard, but the box it comes in is going to be a super, super cool box, which is going to cost more to ship, but it's fine for us to pay the extra but we've been talking about it here about, if the shrimp costs a certain amount of money, and, it's just, stickers are cool and fish or shrimp food's cool, free stuff, but to send it in a little something different, that's where we want to, stick out a little more. So we're going to try that too, and, see how that works. Orange eyes and red devils.
Oh, no, that's cool, man. It's the little things like that I think we can do. And that's one of the questions that I also had jotted down was, are we sharing the right content to refresh the hobby, and then also eliminate some, like I said, some of the sticker shock and anxiety that people may have going to the Caradinas versus Neo Caradinas, just because they're higher in price and there's a lot more parameter issues that you have to be worried about. What are we doing wrong as breeders and content creators to still leave that anxiety out there?
I think one of the biggest things is the big question that I hear a lot, and what most people ask before they get in the shrimp is, how many shrimp should I start with? What's the best number of shrimp? And I mean, if you have a boy and a girl, it's all you need. It's all you need, because once she gets pregnant, she could have from 30, up to 30 babies, 30, 40 babies. So you could have from 10 to 40 babies in from one female. So you just went from, a male and female to, from 2 to let's say 30 shrimp,
Right.
in a few months. So I think like you said, it's the sticker shock is one of the big things, and what we need to pass on is what a lot of people do that a lot of people don't know about that just get into the hobby, whether it be fish or anything like that. If they're trying to breed, it's uh, it's really not the number. Uh, Most with Neos and Caridina. Some others, yes, but with Caridina, you can get a trio, and that's what a lot of people do. Which a lot of people don't know is they'll get a male and two females. And that's it. I mean, if you're buying shrimp that are 100, 200, 300, $400 a piece, you'll get or you'll just buy the pregnant female and just, pay the big money for that. But there's many ways to eat your cookies. It's not just, one way, it's not just how the Keebler elves do it. You can get a male, two females, a male and a female, and they will breed. All they have to do is just find each other, then they'll hang out with each other almost all the time. It's not like one's gonna say, well, okay, I'll see you in a year. They hang out with each other, and so that's how.
And that's all considering that it's in a shrimp only tank, correct?
Yes. I mean, yeah. If you're looking, if you're somebody that wants to buy expensive shrimp, I would keep them in a shrimp only tank to start out with, because you want to build those numbers up. But if you're buying, let's say, basic Caridina, I would still probably do I don't know. It's if you're not going to do a shrimp only tank, then put a lot of hiding stuff in there, like a big piece of moss, coverage, so those shrimp can get going.
Something that I do that, maybe it's wrong, but I will put like killifish or small nano fish in with my shrimp until I see that they're buried or coming close to releasing fry. And then I catch the fish and get them out of the tank. That way I don't have to worry about my fry getting eaten. But 100 times out of 100, the nano fish leave the bigger shrimp alone and they don't mess with them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So as long as I don't have any fry, sometimes I'll put fish in there, and it helps get rid of any of the seed shrimp and some of the other, pests that I might have in my water. But, sometimes
I do the fish. I don't, I had rice fish over here. I keep a lot of little itty bitty, nano fish. I like rice fish. I don't know why, but they just seem as a lesser of the two evils as a predatory fish. But I've done guppies and just had a tank just slammed full of shrimp, and I'm just like, do you guys not eat any shrimp? I think it's a lot. Is this one of those TV shows where I prove you wrong or something? Because I don't know. Seeing another thing to me is if you stay up on your feedings and you're feeding it, you don't have such a worry, as if you're skipping meals with your fish.
Dan says all you need is 2 shrimp.
That's it.
Yeah, and I've had tanks where I have 5 shrimp, and next thing you know, I have 80 to 100 shrimp. And it happens. If I had a favorite amount of shrimp that I like to put in a tank to start with, especially a 10-gallon, I like 10. To me, that's a good number. I get 10 shrimp. I know I'm going to have at least one male and a female that are going to soon get, to having some fun love stuff. And then I'll have baby shrimp. So that's what I like to go with. But yeah, if I have spent $200 for one single shrimp before, and I don't regret it. I really don't. It's a beautiful shrimp. I'd like to think that hopefully in the future I could get some of those at a much cheaper price. We'll see how all that goes. But yeah, I definitely agree. You really only need the male and the female.
That's
You
it.
know.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to save on money. And the other thing is, look, I mean, people can see. I don't hide anything here. They're 10-gallon tanks with the dual sponge filter with air going to it. I don't have any special mixing kettles around here, witchery brews and all sorts of stuff to make it, so special to where, I'm the only one that can keep them in this water. I mean, it's literally, so many people like keep a lot of Caridina in tap water. Will they breed? Probably not, but they can handle a harder water. People ask me all the time, well, how come you don't do it? And I'm like, well, I keep the shrimp in what it calls for. If you put them in something else, that's up to you. And I get people that say, well, why don't you like put orange eye blue tigers in tap water so people can buy them, or put your crystal reds in tap water so people can buy them. I'm like, I don't have that many tanks, because then I have to have a Caridina tank. I'd have a tap water tank for the same shrimp. If you want them in tap water, put them in tap water. I will sell them to you in Caridina water. You put them after that is on you. But I know a lot of people that put them in tap water. They don't breed, but they don't die. So I always say if you're going to mix anything, like let's say shrimp, you want to mix Caridina and Neo-Caridina, don't drip your Caridina into the Neo water, drip the Neos into the Caridina water. Because I don't know how many times I put Neos in Caridina water and they have babies right alongside the Caridina. But if you go the other way, you can stunt the Caridina and they won't have any babies at all. So what's this? Can way
too high GH be a bad thing for Neos? Mine breed, but I don't get the numbers you mentioned. Thanks. So what do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say, here's the thing. I'll tell you, I keep them in. It depends, but it's like 6 to 7 GH. I don't have super hard water, so I can't sit here and go, yeah, they can go at 10 and 12 and, this and that. Can they go in really high? I'm sure that they could go in 10. But I can't say above that. It's I can't, I don't have experience with doing water tests. I mean, I do experiments with the shrimp, not with the water so much. I don't jack it up to see, what they can live in, what they can't. So if the babies aren't living, if the shrimp are breeding and the babies aren't living, then I would probably look at the tank. Because if the shrimplets aren't living, there's a possibility that there's not food for them to eat the minute they're born. There's not enough bacteria, beneficial bacteria and stuff. The way I've changed that with tanks is I've used Bacter AE. When you see the female pregnant, start sprinkling Bacter AE for a couple weeks before she has it, so all that biofilm's built up. So when the babies come out, they can eat.
18 is pretty high, Guppy Shack.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's some people say this, some people say that, and I just don't have water that high. So,
well, hey man, before we run out of time, I want to throw a quick shout out to everybody that may be interested in getting in on the American Shrimp Contest. Yes, I get to be a judge. Woohoo! So that's going to be kind of fun. Yes, it's up until October 25th, I believe, is the cutoff date for entries into the shrimp competition. There's 6 categories, I believe. So if you're going to be at Aquashella and you want to get a free pass, go ahead and enter your shrimp and you get a free pass for Aquashella. So you kill 2 birds with 1 stone that way. Of course, if you want to get the VIP pass and all that stuff, well, that's a different story. But you still get a free pass for the event if you enter shrimp into the American Shrimp Contest. So,
do you know, I mean, do you know, is there a cost to enter your shrimp and stuff?
I think it's $25 an entry for each category. So it stays the same all the way across.
Now, let me ask you this, and that's what I'm saying. With them just asking, I don't know if you do know, but you probably do know. Are there prizes for? Do they pay out like first, second, and third? Does somebody get something no matter what you place? Or
I'm looking here on. I don't believe there's an actual like.
Well, I know there's plaques and stuff because Joe gets them all the time. I mean, Joe wins every one of them, doesn't he? So.
Yeah, they get their certificates and stuff, but I don't believe there's like, you win $10,000 gift certificate.
No. I'm saying
you just get their do
you get
bragging rights?
First, second, and third get like even little banner or something saying second place, third place, or
because Jason prints them at B&B.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I see Joe. He's always, Joe's got about 95 of those plaques, because he's won every single shrimp thing that there is. So I'm glad he's a judge now. So, somebody else can actually win something, It's kind of like
Joe
and putting up his cape for the year,
Joe is going to be a judge. Eric Lucas is going to be a judge, and then myself. So,
because probably Flip. What about the gentleman from Florida? What's his name?
Grant Eater.
Yeah, Grant Eater. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be there, or else he'd be a judge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or either that, or maybe he is competing. But I know that I sent him my picture so that they could put that on the whatever announcement page. Or
he's probably too busy also. So
yeah,
well, that's good.
Who knows what's going on? But yeah, that's going to be a pretty cool deal coming up next weekend, October 30th and 31st.
Yeah, I think I'm going to send in some shrimp, so everybody better watch out.
That'll be pretty cool. I'll be judging you.
I think I'm gonna pull the switch and send me a 5-pack in and see what they do. Serious. I mean, hey, if they don't, I mean, a long time ago, Eric told me, probably like 2 years ago, I was messaging Eric and he's like, dude, you should send some shrimp in. And I was like, me? I'm a nobody. He's like, bro, you'd be surprised. Get 5.
Yeah, it's just because there's not that many people entering. So I think more and more, if we get other people involved, like yourself, myself, whatever, that get involved with the hobby and not be afraid to get their shrimp entered, and maybe even create some more regional type contests that lead into the bigger contests at Aquashella. That would be kind of cool too. So, who knows? If we get everybody together, I'm sure we'll come up with some ideas and, try to create different ways to really get people more involved and getting involved with the hobby.
Yeah, it's one more question on that. Joe was saying something, but I shut it off because I was going into the dealer. Is there a certain type of shrimp that you have to send? Or is it males and females mixed? Because he was saying something about pregnant females show the best, and is it 3 males or 3 females, 2 males? Is it all females? Is it do you know what the
rules do not specifically state one way or the other if it needs to be that way? I don't know about the updates from before, but in general, I thought that it's best to have a combination of males and females because everybody knows the males don't tend to be as colorful as the females. And if you have good consistency between the males and the females, that's extra, that's extra kudos for you for having that consistency.
Right. Cool. All right, cool, sweet. I'm very excited. Yeah, I think we're gonna send a package. We're just gonna look online there, see what the address is, see where we have.
Yeah, the address is there, and it's actually addressed to attention Robert Lupton. So it goes to Rob with the address there at Dallas Market Hall for the American Shrimp Contest.
I asked him today too. He didn't see the question. I asked Joe, but I asked him if he shaves his head with RO water or tap water. He didn't answer. He didn't see it, but because it was at the end. But Joe, I think Joe said he tap water. He shaves with tap water.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we just send them there, and then people start unboxing it and put them in the tanks. And
yeah, kind of like what I did in Florida. Is I unpacked the shrimp and put them in their assigned tanks without the judges seeing what shrimps went where. There'll be somebody doing that here in Dallas.
So,
hey man, it's 8:00. We gotta go.
We gotta go. Oh crap! So much information.
Yeah, I know, man, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes. We got
that's what I'm saying.
And Primetime Aquatics. So,
all right, let's.
Everybody, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you coming. Thanks for keeping it Shrimple with me and Brian. We'll see you next time.
See ya.